what's up, hardware? Welcome to the WOD Brief for the workout on Monday, April 6th. We've got all kinds of stuff going on today, but we've got the finale of our split squat cycle. Split squats with a tempo, pistols with a tempo. We'll cover that again in a moment, but that's what we've been doing for the last few weeks, so you should be kind of comfortable with that. And then we've got a monster 20-minute AMRAP of all the challenge points. You could have so much points for your team today, so I hope you all jump right on it. So let's walk through the warm-up. Warm-up today, we're gonna start with, because we got our squatting stuff going on, we're gonna start with 10 bootstrap squats with a pause at the bottom. So technically, the bootstrap squat is just going down in this hinge position here and kind of, oh, it feels so good on the hamstrings. Kind of pulling your butt up, to stretch the hamstrings, and then pulling your butt down, and then pulling your butt up, and pulling your butt down. But what we like to do here at Hardware is we pull your butt down, and then we go into almost an overhead squat. So the pause is going to be reach down, pull your butt down to the bottom squat, pause here for a moment, as much time as you want, then arm up, stand. That's one. We're just gonna take your time, stretching, hanging out. This should be your first kind of exercise movement of the week. So take as much time as you'd like with that, all right? 10 of those. Then we're gonna do a little 3-rounder. We're gonna start with 20 jumping jacks, easy, right? These are gonna come back later, maybe in the workout, but I want you to switch it up each round. Do something fun, why not? Switch it up, find a new variation. You could go with seal jacks, some seal slaps in there. I saw a video that had us doing our classic musical theater trenches. They had some fancy fitness name, but just going for some trenches. Do whatever you want. Make yourself laugh a little bit. Oh, get warm. That worked for me already. So 20 jumping jacks, but each round, switch it up. Do something fun. Keep yourself entertained. Then we're gonna go with 10 sit-ups. So if you've got the ab mat around, you can slide that up towards your tailbone, kick the knees out to the sides. Now, something that we don't talk about a whole lot in CrossFit is why we do this butterfly sit-up. So I figured we'd talk about it for a moment today, which is just that once you can clear the knees out of the way, a lot of your hip flexors, these muscles in here, aren't able to help you sit up quite as much. So it just focuses the sit-up a little bit more on your abs and gives your hip flexors a little less to do with your sit-up. So we just go all the way back, throw your hands, and come up. But any kind of sit-up will do. Do 10 sit-ups. And then we're gonna do 5 squats using our tempo of the day. The tempo of the day is 4 seconds down, and then we're gonna come up naturally. So for my air squat, I'm gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, up, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. But again, just like the jumping jack, I want you to switch this up every round. So, we might be heading towards a pistol progression or something. So maybe in one of your rounds, one of my favorite ways to get ready for pistols, I do this every time I'm gonna try to do pistols, is feet together squat. So I'm gonna do the same thing, but 4, 3, 2, 1, up, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. So that would be a great way to do it. You could also play around with maybe a sumo squat. Point the toes out a little bit, pretend you're at the ballet bar, get down in this direction. Ooh, it's a nice stretch in the hips. Just again, switching things up just to keep it fresh. So 3 rounds, 20 jumping jacks, switching it up for fun, 10 sit-ups, and 5 slow tempo squats to get our legs ready for our slow tempo squats. So speaking of, let's talk about part 1. This is our last week of doing our tempo split squats or tempo pistols. So just in case you missed some of the other videos or you're just jumping on it this week, what we're doing is 5 sets of anywhere between 1 and 10 reps. So if you're picking a really challenging variation, or if you're one of the people that came in to get equipment from Hardware and you rented out something and you're like, I'll take that PVC pipe and a 70-pound kettlebell. So maybe you only have something really heavy, stick closer to that 1 rep per set. Or if you're on the other side of the spectrum, you don't have anything heavy to use, go all the way up towards 10. It's really dependent upon what you have around to make your workout challenging on each set, okay? So technically speaking, our split squat in its most basic form here is just gonna be a lunge without stepping into the lunge or out of the lunge. So you want to set up a nice split stance here. I'm going to switch just for a moment so you can see that I'm not walking a tightrope with my feet. Oftentimes I find that people get too much in a line here and it becomes really hard to balance. Make sure you split yourself kind of shoulder width, okay? So shoulder width, and then I'm going to head down, 4, 3, 2, 1, stand. 4, 3, 2, 1, stand. Right? I like to use the ab mat because I got my old sensitive dancer's knees, and when they come down on the hardwood floor, I don't like it so much. So you can do it that way, or you could elevate your front foot. Let's see, I don't think I have my yoga block. There it is. You could stand on something to prop yourself up. That's another way, another good variation. Here, I'm going to put my front foot up, and I'm going to keep everything else the same. 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Or, to make it a little harder on yourself, you could pick your back foot up. So, for here I've got a little bench here from our kitchen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my foot up on this bench. You're going to have to hop a little bit to figure out the distance that you want to be. But again, I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. That requires much deeper stretch on the hip flexor. So if that's not your strong suit, this might not be the variation for you, okay? Now, of course, what you could do with any of those 3 variations is you can add some weight to it as well. You could bear hug a wall ball if that's what you grabbed. You could goblet squat a dumbbell or let it hang in this direction. You could even use a resistance band. You could loop a resistance band around your shoulders and step on it with the front foot so that as you stand up, the band has to stretch, okay? The other thing you could do is play around with some pistols. If you are someone who has that as a goal in mind. Again, one of my favorite ways to do that is the feet together squat, but you can also give yourself a toe spot here. You just want to make sure you find a distance with your foot so that you can go all the way down on your other leg. I think oftentimes people end up bringing their foot either too close or too far away, and then they end up just taking a knee, kind of getting stuck or having to fold back, which is not really a pistol. So you want to find that sweet spot where I've got the full depth pistol, but I'm only able to help myself a little bit with that foot. Or you can do spotting yourself with the ankle, or you can do the full thing, but make sure that whatever you do, you're using that 4 seconds down. Really own those positions, okay? So now, onto the fun stuff, which is part 2. We are doing a 20-minute AMRAP. That's long, the long one. It starts with either 100 double unders, or if you don't have the equipment or the space or the ceiling height, you could do 100 jumping jacks, okay? And again, feel free to switch it up. Pick some of those silly jumping jack variations. 100 jumping jacks or double unders. Then we're going with 80 air squats. These are just regular air squats, but I want you to make sure that you're getting your chest pretty vertical at the top. Oftentimes what we end up doing, myself included, because I'm trying to go super fast, is we end up lacking in the finish of the air squat. And so then we get the dreaded, ooh, nobody get mad at me. I call this the dreaded competition squat. When people are in the open, they're really trying to go for it, where they end up just, yeah, oh, I'm crushing it. You can see that this is not the finish to an air squat. My problem is that if I squeeze my hips hard enough, I end up sort of jumping off the ground on accident. So do what you can. Just try to keep it as a really pretty air squat and do it as fast as you can. 80 reps, 60 sit-ups, just like we did earlier, ab mat sit-ups, 40 kettlebell swings. If you don't have a kettlebell around, you can use a dumbbell. You can use 2 hands on a dumbbell here and either go to eye level or overhead. The dumbbell works pretty well for that. If you don't have a dumbbell, you can use an odd object, like my suitcase full of books here. This works pretty well. Now with this one, I haven't tried to go overhead. You probably see why, but that'll do. By the way, for the challenge, that still counts as a kettlebell swing. I know it's not a bell, but that counts. Get those points. If you don't have a kettlebell or either of these, and you grabbed a wall ball from hardware, I would go with a wall ball power clean or a muscle clean. So I'm going to hinge down this way, and I'm just going to pop it up, down, up, down, up, down. If you watch my hips from here to here and back down, it's mimicking the exact same thing that I would get from that hinge. Okay, so that's a great way to use your wall ball for that as well. And we finish with 20 burpees. Love the burpees. Trying to think if there's any more this week. It doesn't matter. It's only 20. 20-minute AMRAP. Loop through that as many times as you can. 100 double unders, 80 squats, 60 sit-ups, 40 swings, 20 burpees. All 5 of those movements are on the points list for the Beyond the Whiteboard Challenge. So make sure you log on correctly, and everybody have a great week.